answer. So, what is Bhagavad Gita? What is the position of Bhagavad Gita? What are the important topics of Bhagavad Gita? We discussed all those things, and then we started the first topic of Bhagavad Gita, which is Atma, soul. So today we'll be discussing more about soul and reincarnation. So first topic we're discussing is we are not all in all. This body is not all in all. Spirit, soul exists. We are not this body made of flesh and bones, but we are spirit, soul, part and parcel of God. So that's what we are discussing. So today we will see some of the important topics. Yesterday we saw what about the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, glories of Bhagavad Gita. We saw that Bhagavad Gita is like a manual, map, and medicine. Yes, for those who are new, I'm just refreshing the topics so that you are aware. These are the 5 topics of Gita: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So we are discussing about Jiva. Then 4 essential truths of Gita. In these 4 sessions, we will be discussing these 4 truths. Yesterday we discussed this body is not all in all. Spirit, soul exists. And today we'll discuss this one. This life is not all in all. Afterlife exists. Okay. We saw that how the spirit soul passes through childhood to youth to old age, and after death, it again is reborn. So we saw this important slide from which we understand that we are not this body, we are the controller, the operator of this body. Okay. We are the operator of this body. We see through the eyes, we hear through the ears, we smell through the nose, we taste through the tongue, and we feel through the skin. Eyes cannot see, but the soul sees through the eye. Then we saw this analogy of parrot in the cage. We take care of the body so nicely, but we have to also feed the soul. Then we saw the 6 changes of the living entity: birth, growth, maintenance, production of byproducts, building, and death. So then we saw the difference between Jiva and Ishvara. We also saw the 3 coverings: gross covering, subtle coverings, and the spiritual soul inside. Now let's go ahead. So what are the proofs for the existence of soul? First point. When somebody dies, we say he or she has passed away. वो गुजर गए हैं. But who has passed away? The body is still there. All the elements of the body are still there. Right? So the soul has passed away. Right? So the body is there. Before death and after death, what is the change? All the molecules are intact. All the organs are intact. But only the one particle has gone, that is spirit soul. So soul has passed away. वो गुजर गए हैं, वो चले गए हैं, चल बसे हैं, और तीर हो गिदारे. So we use in many languages same thing. He has passed away. Right? When we see any beautiful scene like the sunrise scene, we feel good memories. We think and feel, we experience it. But a camera can say, oh, it's only red color. But we can feel. So that's because we are soul. The soul has a capacity to think, feel, and will. So that's consciousness, Chetana. So I'm Chetana. If somebody pinches me, I feel the pain. But if I pinch the mobile and if beat the mobile, it doesn't feel anything because it is dead. Right? It is dead matter. So Jada and there is Chetana. So this camera is Jada Vastu and we are Chetana Vastu. And third proof is near-death experience and out-of-body experience. Let me take my pen. Yeah. So the near-death experience and out-of-body experience is there. You will see this person is sleeping on the bed, but the soul comes out of his body and sees himself from the body, from this space outside. right? He is looking down at the body. So there was one person who was being operated, and during the surgery, he was fully unconscious. They put anesthesia. He is fully unconscious. He cannot see nor hear. But after the surgery was complete, when the anesthesia effect went down, then this person could describe what happened during the surgery. Doctor, you told the nurse, you please bring the scalpel. Then you cut the skin. Then you opened the rib cage. Then you opened the heart. And you did the surgery. He saw everything and he was able to narrate. So this is called out of body experience. Going out of the body and seeing oneself from outside the body. And second point is near death experience. When person is dying, a dying man sometimes sees some ghastly people coming, like sharp teeth and dark hair, coppery hair, dark body, and red eyes. So they are Yamudutas. So people who are sinful, they see this Yamudutas. And those who are pious, they see some divine people coming and taking them. They go to the path of light. They go to peaceful place. So before they reach there, they come back because the time was not right. It was not the right time to leave, so they are sent back again. So that is the experience of heaven, or there is another experience is going to hellish planets. So that is near to the experience. 11 to 14% of the average American population, right, who are mentally and physically healthy have had out of body experience. Hare Krishna. So, see, so many books are published about out of body experience and near death experiences. So many books. Mhm. Mhm. Can metal bodies grow or function by themselves? No, we have not seen any machine, right? Behind every matter, there is spiritual life force, right? My hand is moving up and down because this life is there inside. Life is making it move up and down, right? And for example, a tree and human bodies, we grow because there is life. Like example, electricity. When electricity flows through the bulb, it glows. Similarly, when soul is there in the body becomes alive. The body acts alive. So this person is asking, Swamiji, I think our body is just a complex machine that gets worn out and crashes. Why should we bother about some soul powering the body? इस पहले चलिए आत्मा आत्मा क्यों चर्चा करने का मौज करो ना enjoy. Life is meant for enjoyment. Just enjoy, be happy. But Swami is telling here, does your computer grow? Your car grow? Do you have male and female car which can unite and produce a baby car, right? Like Tata car and Toyota car coming and producing nano car. Is it possible? No. A living body undergoes six changes, whereas matter just depreciates. It is the soul that makes living body alive, right? So Atma makes the body alive. So now we'll discuss about afterlife. What happens after death? Mruti ke baad kya hoga? So we'll see it today. How a person transmigrates. Okay. So there's one scientist called Dr. Ian Stevenson. He has done reincarnation research. He is a professor of psychiatry in University of West Virginia. Virginia. Okay. And he has investigated about 2,000 cases of reincarnation. Not one or two. 2,000 cases of spontaneous reincarnation he has researched. And he has gone home to home, interviewing people and taking notes of those interviews and researching, and finally has proved 2,000 true cases of reincarnation. And so many books have been published on reincarnation. Right? Not just Indian authors, but Western authors. all Western authors. So, so many books, it cannot be false, right? So many books talking about it. So, for example, some people have phobia, right? Phobias are related to mode of death of a person whose life is being remembered. For example, if in previous life somebody ended in drowning, there would be phobia of water, hydrophobia. So people who have hydrophobia, they don't get into water. They're always away because in previous life they had a bad experience of drowning in water. Somebody was killed by a knife, so they will have fear of sharp objects, right? Like a knife or even injection also. They'll be fearful. Somebody died by falling from a mountain or a building, so you will have fear of heights. So, and birthmarks also. Like somebody died in an accident and he had a very severe leg injury. So in the next life, he may be born with a scar in the place where injury had happened, right? So recently, I read one article which came in a newspaper that one person was murdered. I I don't know whether I have the link to that article. One person was murdered, and next life when he was born, he remembered his past life. So he identified the murderers in the past life, and he showed the place where he was murdered and where he was uh, buried, and then he identified the names and the place where the people who murdered him were staying. So the police went and caught because they had evidence. So there's one case of remembering past life. Twins. Difference in the temperament of twins proves the soul. So here you will see that even though identical twins are born by splitting of a single egg, right? Single egg, when it splits, it becomes two, right? One egg splits into two and it produces two different babies. Both are genetically same, they are looking alike, but there is a difference in the temperament. Because in the heart of these two jivas, there are two different souls coming from two different backgrounds. So that's why there is difference in the temperament of these twins. Another is past life memory of reincarnation. So I'll show you a video of one fighter pilot who died in air crash. So this person was fighting. He was an American and he was fighting with the Japanese in World War II. So kindly watch this video attentively. It is in English, foreign accent. So you'll be able to follow it. It's a simple video. Okay. I'm playing it now.
They have the same name and boyish good looks. James M. Houston, raised in the Midwest. James M. Leininger, a young boy from the Bayou.
Whoa! There's something in the eyes. It's undeniable.
That's not all they share.
Somehow James Houston's spirit has affected my son, either through reincarnation. I don't know how it happened.
I can beat the Japanese easy as pie.
Initially, what caught my attention was James's extreme fascination with airplanes.
And every night he slept with his G.I. Joe action figures, which he named.
I took him to the Kavanaugh Flight Museum.
Here's home video. While the other kids casually look at the plane, 2-year-old James seems to inspect it. Watch as he checks the underbelly, then climbs inside, donning the headset.
The pilot put him on?
I said, oh, look, there's a bomb on the bottom. He said, that's not a bomb, that's a drop tank.
Bouncing about in the cockpit, James was flying high. That night, their world would change forever.
He started having the nightmares, and that was my first indication that there was something wrong. It was a panic-stricken, terrorized screaming.
Over and over again, James had the same terrible nightmare, 4 to 5 times a week. He was too young to explain the dream, but he could draw.
Bombing ships, you see men parachuting, Here's another one where planes are dropping bombs.
Help me.
He would just be crying. He'd say, airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. He laid on his back and kicked up at the ceiling, and he goes, Mama, the little man's going like this. And he laid on his back and kicked his feet up. The little man's going, ooh, 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 can't get out. And I said, well, who's the little man, baby? And he goes, me. I thought Bruce and I were just going to faint.
They questioned what kind of plane.
Corsair.
Why did your airplane crash?
My plane was shot down.
Who shot your plane?
He looked at me like I was a village idiot. He said,
The Japanese. I kept thinking, where is he getting this? I was a stay-at-home mom, so I know that there wasn't anything that he was being exposed to.
Not exposed to in this life, but perhaps, just maybe, somebody else was. Decades earlier, James Houston grew up with the same insatiable fascination with airplanes. He became a naval fighter pilot and fought in World War II. March 3rd, 1945, during a mission
So
near
3rd March 1945, he took off on his aeroplane to fight with the Japanese. That's the time the Japanese hit him and he died. And he was again reborn, maybe in 90s, and he remembered his past life.
Iwo Jima. He took a direct hit. At age 21, was declared missing and presumed dead.
where did he take off from a boat?
Do you remember the name of your boat? He said Natoma.
Found several thousand hits on the word Natoma.
The USS Natoma Bay launched into battle headed for Iwo Jima in the fight for Lady Gulf.
It's the biggest naval battle in the history of the world.
Leo Pyatt served on the ship. From his home in Ohio, he organizes the Natoma Bay reunions. That's how Bruce found him.
I wanted to disprove it.
He asked a few questions about, did I know some of the people? Oh, yeah, I remember those people. And so he got very quiet.
It was all real. The people and places James described actually existed. And remember those G.I. Joe dolls that James named? Turns out 3 men with the same names, first and last, served on the Natoma and were killed in action. James said they greeted him in heaven after his crash.
I'd always asked him, do you remember what your name was? And he always said James. But his name is James.
Yes, there was a Jim Houston, a rather large shell, just hit him in the engine, and it burst into flames and went down.
They showed Leo the drawings.
He was right on the nose. I'm sure, in my mind, that he was there.
Leo invited James, now 3, to
See, this is a reunion. His ex-colleague, now he is almost 70 plus years old, and here is his baby, and they are having a reunion. So the reunion is going on where it is. And many people also had come, many his friends also had come, and he could recognize everybody, and he could see by their, call them by their names. So this is proof of the incarnation of the James.
the reunion. James recognized several pilots, even called them by name.
You're Bob Greenwald. I'm serious.
He'd never met Bob Green.
No, he'd never met him before.
And someone else was invited. James Houston's sister, Anne.
And he
His
goes,
sister is almost 80 years old, and this boy is 5 years old.
It's not Anne, it's Annie. She wasn't my oldest sister. I had an older sister than that. And I said, you did? Who was that? And he goes, Ruth. Ruth.
Eddie is what they called me when I was little, knowing my name and my sister's name, things that my brother did when he was a kid. It's too amazing to describe how he would feel that way, but he does. He considers me his sister.
But does she consider James her brother?
I think it's probably a reincarnation of my brother.
Suzanne Stratford.
So this is a real case study of an American boy. Somebody is asking, do they reborn in same family again? No, he was born in another family. But they could recognize, they could connect to the old family, and he was, because the father did a lot of research, going here and there, finding out the facts. And finally they came to the conclusion that he was the reincarnation of James. Yeah. Why only some souls remember the past? Yeah. So generally we forget. Most of us forget. 99.99% of us we forget our past life. Why? Because if we remembered our past life, we cannot be peaceful. अरे पिछले जन्म में मेरे को मार दिया था, उससे पहले मैं आई वॉज हैविंग हाई फीवर एंड आई डाइड, उससे पहले आई डाइड व्हेन आई वाज इन द womb only, उससे पहले आई डाइड व्हेन a car accident. If you remember everything, we cannot be peaceful. So Krishna makes us forget. Mattah smrtir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna gives us knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. If God doesn't make us forget, we'll be very miserable. So that's why He makes us forget all the pains and pleasures of the past life. So that's why we don't remember. Only some people here and there they remember. So that it gives us proof of reincarnation, and also those who had a traumatic death, like an air crash or severe chronic disease or something like that, generally they remember past life, and that too only in young age, up to the age of 5. After that, the memory starts fading. So the memory becomes weak. Okay. So this came in Fox News. Let's go ahead. Remove the optimization. Okay. See, even the Western scholars, they also believe in reincarnation. Here you see Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and Socrates. Finding myself to exist in the world, I believe I shall, in some shape or other, always exist. So that's Benjamin Franklin. John Adams. Those souls who revolted against God were placed here to transmigrate through various species of animals, birds, and reptiles, etc. So that's John Adams. So main cause of our coming to this world is revolt against God. Ichha dvesha samuttayana tunda mohena bharata. Independent desire to be separate from Krishna. Socrates says, I am confident that there truly is such a thing as living again and living spring from the dead. Now let's take a story from India. This is the story of Shukla Gupta. She was born in somewhere in Bihar, and when she was small, she said, "मेरा नाम शुक्ला नहीं, मेरा नाम मीना है, मीना पुकारो." मेरे पेरेंट्स को सरप्राइज हो गया, हमने आपको शुक्ला नाम दिया, नहीं नहीं नहीं, मेरा नाम शुक्ला नहीं. So then she said, "My village is Bhatpara, right? There is a place called Bhatpara. वहाँ पे मेरा गांव है." So then the parents, they researched and found out such a place, and they went there. They went with the whole family. And when they reached that place, that village, Shukla said, "Follow me." See, Shukla is leading the way. She's telling, "Follow me." And she's taking all the relatives, parents to the home. And she comes to her previous home. And in previous home, she recognized mother-in-law, father-in-law, and cousins, right? There's husband, and then there is previous life's child. Now, this Shukla was 5 years old, but her daughter was 15 years old. But when she saw the daughter, there were tears in her eyes, and she embraced, "My dear daughter." So in this way, she recognized all of them. And then the relatives wanted to test. So they asked questions. What is your favorite food item? So she told the right answer. Then they asked, "Bring your favorite sari." So she went inside. There is a locker. She opened the locker. There are many saris. And she picked up one particular sari and said, "This is my favorite sari." They were amazed. "This is our daughter-in-law. पिछला जन्म का याद इनको है." So this is one story of Shukla who remembered her past life. So this concept of reincarnation, Punarjanma, is explained in Bhagavad Gita 2.22. Second chapter, verse number 22. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Right? Vasamsi jirnani. Vasa means dress. Yes. Vasa means dress. Jirnani become old and worn out. Vihaya means give up. Right? Just like, Yatha means just like, When old dress becomes old, we give it up. And navani grihanati, new. Nava means new. Grihananti naroparani. So a living being, human being, takes a new dress. Tatha, right? Just like we give up dress, yatha, tatha, similarly, sharirani vihaya jirnani. When the sharira becomes old, jirna, anyani samyati, navani dehi. So we get a new body, right? So this is the analogy given. So when we change clothes, we don't feel, oh, my old clothes, I have to give it up. No, we happily give it up and take a new clothes. Diwali will come soon. So new Diwali time, everybody gets new clothes and they're so delighted. And you see your old clothes and give it up, right? Throw it or give it charity. You don't lament, oh, my old clothes, I have to throw. So if somebody has a car is 15, 20 years old, it is broken down. So what he does, he gives it up to the garage and buys a new car. So change of body is a happy news for us because we get a new body, right? When the body becomes old, eyes can't see, right? Ears can't hear. People say, क्या बोल रहे हो? खाना खाओ जी, हाँ? खाना खाइए, हाँ? They open the ear. क्या बोल रहे हो? Ears can't hear, eyes can't see. तो भगवान बोलते हैं, इतना पुराना शरीर में क्यों रुकते हो? चलो नया शरीर देता हूँ. So he picks the soul and puts in the new body. Right? Just like the home becomes old, the ceiling is falling, the windows are cracking, the wall is cracking. So then you see, okay, how much balance I have, कितना पैसा है मेरे पास. So उतना पैसे से नया घर लेते हैं. We take a new home. So that's the analogy given here. जातस्य हि ध्रुवोर्मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्ममृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्यर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. So jatasya hi dhruva mrityu. So those who are born, mrityu is khachit. Right? Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. And those who are dead, they are again born. And mritasya janma dhruvam. Tasmad apariharyarthe nattam shochitum arsi. Don't lament. Right? No shochitum. Tvam no shochitum arsi. Don't lament. Krishna is telling. So this is the quality of this, the concept of reincarnation. Changing of dress, and those who are dead are born again, and those who are born will die again, right? So like here you see the soul can, from woman body, can go to a male body. It can become a king, it can become a vaishya, businessman, it can become a woman, it can become a woman, it can become a sage. So the soul can keep transmigrating from one body to another body. And what body he will get, it depends upon his activities, his karmas. So on what basis we get a new body is explained in 8th chapter, 6th shloka. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, whatever we remember at the time of death, whatever feelings we have at the time of death, right? Tam tamevaiti kaunteya, that body he will attain. Right? So this fellow, you'll see, looking like a pig. So he's developing that kind of emotions. He's developing emotion of a monkey, or angry like a tiger. So whatever emotions we are cultivating, whatever bhavana we are cultivating in this life, based on our activities, our association, what we see and read and hear, we cultivate certain bhavana, certain attitudes. Based on that, we will attain our next life. So this is the law of last thought. Right. So we get our next body based on the desires in the mind and good or bad karma. Okay. If we do good karma, we are elevated to higher planets. If we do bad karma, we are demoted to lower species of life, like animal species. Right. If one does good karma, then he can become a devata. He can go to Swarga, he can go to the higher planetary systems. Right. So based on the desires in the mind and good and bad karma, we get our next life. So there are sinful activities. Those who do sinful activities, they degrade down and go to hellish planets. So the sinful activities like meat eating, because meat eating involves violence. You cut the throat of a goat or a chicken, it's so much in pain. So that's violence. That is sinful. Intoxication, it wastes our money, it makes our mind crazy, and it creates trouble to the family. So that's sinful. Gambling, people want quick money, so that's why they gamble. So that's why gambling is also sinful. Gambling involves a lot of cheating, so that's why it is sinful. And illicit sex, having a relationship with women outside the marriage or having a relationship with girls before marriage. So that's also sinful. So that should be avoided. So this somebody does sinful activities, he is degraded. And somebody does good activities like austerity, like this fellow is doing tapasya. And he's getting up early in the morning, sunrise time, and he took a bath and he's sitting in meditation and thinking about God. So he becomes happy. And here is his sattvic diet. He's eating fruits and vegetables and grains and milk. It's pure life. And somebody does pujas, yajnas for the pleasure of the Lord. Somebody is cultivating law knowledge, scriptures teaching what God wants us, like reading Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, right? Cultivation of knowledge. Association, saintly people, see the certain sadhus, attending Gita class, like all of you are attending Gita class. It's sadhu sangha, it's satsanga. So by doing such kind of activities, one elevates to higher destination. So all of us are here now. Okay. We are here and we have got a choice whether to go up or go down the staircase. If a person gets attracted to opposite sex, if a person gets attracted to attachment, he is proud, false prestige, and he becomes slave of greed, lust, and anger. So kam, krodha, lobha, and they pull him down to lower forms of life, their degradation. But in case this person turns to spiritual master and accepts the instructions of the spiritual master, studies the Vedas, does austerity, sense control, then what happens? He will elevate to higher planets, higher place, and finally he'll go to the Goloka, Krishna Loka, right? Which is the real goal of life. So we are here, so we have to make the choice whether to go up or go down. And all of you have made the choice to accept spiritual master, to accept a teacher, to learn Bhagavad Gita, and then elevate ourselves. Right? So whatever we're teaching here is from Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is the Adi Guru, ultimate teacher. And Krishna has given this knowledge to acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada. So by his teachings, whatever he has taught us, we are teaching all of you. So we are all elevating to higher place. Okay. So this is in brief, and very, very brief, I spoke about the concept of Punarjanma or reincarnation. So by today we talked about near-death experience, out-of-body experience, phobias, past life memories, story of the fighter pilot, story of Shukla, and we also saw the how the jiva gets next life based on his karma and based on his desires. So karma is two types: bad karma and good karma. So bad karma is doing sinful activities, and good karma is doing austerities, reading books, spiritual books like that. So then we elevate ourselves to higher planet. So now we have a choice whether to glide down or go up. So tomorrow we'll be discussing this topic. This world is not all in all. Spiritual world exists, right? We are in the material world. So we'll discuss about what is the nature of material world. Then we'll also discuss about what is the nature of spiritual world. It's very, very important topic. Generally we know this world only, but there is another loka, right? ऐसा गगन जहाँ पे दुख नहीं है, सुख नहीं है, सॉरी दुख नहीं है, सिर्फ सुख ही सुख है. Alide namma mane, iligande summane. They're saying in Kannada also that my real home is there above with Krishna, but we have come here to this world and suffering here. So this is a false home. So we will try to discuss this topic tomorrow when we come here. So as I told you yesterday, we wanted to end the session early today because I have a train to catch. I'm coming back to Bangalore. So I'm going to Bangalore. So we have still about 4 or 5 minutes. If there are any questions, we can take. So there's one question coming here. There may be some exceptional stories or rebirth. Would you have scientific proof of reincarnation? Yeah, I showed you, that story of the pilot. That's scientifically proven that this boy had reincarnation. He had memories of past life, and the scientists went to different places and then verified. And Ian Stevenson is a scientist, so he verified and written so many cases of reincarnation, phobias, and then I told the story of the person identifying his murder of the previous life, right? So that is also scientific proof. Science means what? That which is verifiable and repeatable. Science is three things: observation, hypothesis, and experiment. So you have observation, okay, then you make hypothesis, and you experiment. So in the case of reincarnation also, there is observation that oh, he's remembering his past life. Then you go and verify, then you experiment with different people and then you prove it. Right? So this is reincarnation. Another question is having girlfriend bad or does it enter to our life because of Krishna's plan? Yeah. Getting married is not bad. One should get married, right? So most of them get married. So very few people uh, have a desire to stay alone, right? So because they want to dedicate, those who want to dedicate fully to God, they stay alone and they work for the service of society. So they are called brahmacharis. So they don't get married, but they utilize all their time and energy for preaching Krishna consciousness. So that's called brahmachari ashrama. And there is another bona fide ashram called grahastha ashrama, where husband and wife can stay together and practice spiritual life, and they both elevate in spiritual life together in family with children. So that is family life, right? So one can either choose brahmachari life or one can choose family life. That's absolutely perfect. Family life is allowed, but illicit connection is not allowed, right? If you have a girlfriend, then get married. Don't just live in. Okay, live in relationship is not allowed, right? So go to talk to the girl's parents and get their permission. Talk to your parents, get permission, get married, and tell about spiritual principles to them, and then you continue Krishna conscious in family life. So that is allowed, but illicit connection is not allowed. So Sharid is asking, how is life after we left this life ends? Yeah, so life continues. Another birth, another death. The cycle of birth and death continues, right? So there is birth, and then there is death. Sorry. Right? So we are born, then we die, then after death again we are born. So in between birth and death, there are many activities which you do. So the cycle going on. There's nothing new. Same thing. Puna puna charvita charanana. Eating, mating, sleeping, different. So that's only going on. So that's why you have to get out of the cycle of birth and death and go back to God. Someone is asking, can you meet you in Bangalore? Yes. I stay in Kumaraswamy layout, which is near Banashankari, Dayanand Sagar College. We have a new ISKCON center coming up there. 28th and 29th of this month is the inauguration of the center. So you're all welcome. Tomorrow I'll be there. Tomorrow till the end of this month, I'll be there. Maybe except 1 or 2 days, I'll not be there, but I'm there. So Yeshwanthpur can share the address. We can come there. Okay, we can meet. So have non-vegetarians at birth already lost the opportunity period? No need. No, it's not lost. You can practice Krishna consciousness now. And if you feel that you want to give up non-vegetarian, you can give up now. And chant Hare Krishna. Then previous sins are taken care. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Focus now and elevate in your consciousness. Okay. So there's another question, is it possible to erase the past sins? Yes, it's possible. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra, read Bhagavad Gita. By doing this, past sins are erased and one becomes purified. Having girlfriend is allowed. Having girlfriend, if you want to marry her, is allowed. But just having girlfriend for roaming around is not allowed. So if you want to have a girlfriend, get married. So that's allowed. Okay, I think some more questions are coming, but if I have to reach Bangalore, then I have to leave now. So it's 8:45, 8:46. So keep your questions for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll give ample time for question answers. We'll give half an hour for question answers tomorrow. So we'll take remaining questions tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.